Welcome to Coffee Commerce. My name is Sean Remit, and I'm the grandson of a coffee farmer from Guyana, South America. On Coffee Commerce, we talk about the stories behind coffee as they relate to commerce. Not just the exchange of goods and services, but also the exchange of ideas, concepts, communication, and culture, and how stories behind coffee have helped to transform and to form our society. We've been talking about the coffee houses, and how we talked about how coffee houses started in Yemen. And from Yemen, they had a base in Turkey, in Istanbul especially, and how the Ottoman Empire became the hub of coffee and the coffee houses. And then we talked about how they came to Europe during the Vienna siege. But it's important to understand why coffee houses would become popular, and what was the fascination and what was the need that was there for coffee houses. The first thing to understand is the problem that they had in Europe and in many parts of the world at that time, which was water. Water was not clean. It was not something that was accessible to drink out of a tap or that easily and readily available as it is today. They had to look for other things to consume. So in Europe, it was very common to have fermented drinks. So ale became very popular. Even for breakfast, it was popular. Because of fermented drinks and alcohol in Europe, then there was the move to taverns, places where you could purchase the ales and different forms of alcoholic beverages. But these places became a hub for more than just drinking casually. They became a place where there were brawls, there was lewdness, rudeness. There was not a place you would go as a family or you want to take your good friends to. So they were looking for another form to get together. If you were in business, a tavern was not the place you'd want to go to conduct business. And drinking alcohol was not really a thing you'd want to do either, not in large quantities, because you needed to be sober-minded, you needed to be sharp. And these taverns, drinking and consuming alcohol in these taverns would have been something that may have dulled the senses. So when the European traders discovered these coffee houses in the Ottoman Empire, it became an answer to a lot of their concerns, a lot of their issues of that day. One, it was an alternative to water and alcohol. Two, it was a place that they could meet. They could meet in these coffee houses, and it would not have the same atmosphere as a tavern would. And it was a great place to conduct business and be sober-minded. Another big factor is that in the homes where people lived in Europe and elsewhere, they lived in smaller apartments. And it was in these apartments that it was more or less just a place to eat, a place to cook, and a place to sleep. There's not really a place to sit and to meet. And really these coffee houses became more or less a living room where you could invite your friends and you can come and have coffee. So they became a place where you could play games, you could conduct business, you'd be able to meet socially, exchange ideas. Later on in Europe, it became popular for artists to go for an inspiration, for them to write poetry and stories and music even. So this becomes the atmosphere for what a coffee house was designed for. We owe it to the European traders and travelers who brought the coffee houses into Europe. But that's another story for another cup of coffee. Thank you.